Hi guys! So I'm just taking a short break from studying to film a beautiful books video, and I've done 6 of these in the past, but it's been quite a while since I've done an instalment in this series, so I thought it was about time I got back on here to do one. Now, as the title implies, these videos are simply a way for me to highlight some books which I think deserve to be appreciated for their physical beauty. And yes, I know we're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but take something like this. This object means more to me than simply the story inside. It is a work of physical art, and a lot of time and effort has gone into designing this book, and it's the product of multiple people's hard work, including an illustrator, artist, or designer whose work also deserves to be appreciated. So I like to do these videos to talk about books like this that I think are particularly beautiful. And as you might have guessed, because I'm holding this one up, this one's going to be a hardback edition. I will link my previous videos in this series down below. If you'd like to stick around, I have a pile of books here to talk to you about, so I'm gonna get on with it. Since it's in my hand, I'm going to start with this book, which is 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. This was a Christmas present from my wonderful friend Cinzia, who has a booktube channel here on YouTube, although she films fantastic non-book related videos as well, so I'd highly recommend checking out her channel, and I was thrilled to receive this. It is a stunning book, like absolutely stunning. It's published by Penguin Viking, which is not an imprint of Penguin that I own any other books from, but if they all look like this, then I need to get my hands on some more. I couldn't actually find an illustrator or designer for this book anywhere on this book or from a quick Google search, but if I can find out for you, I'll write their name in the description box down below. But it's just got this lovely fan and sort of leaf pattern on the front. I think Penguin in its many imprints does an excellent job at these lovely kind of symmetrical printed design books. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the Coralie Bickford Smith books. There's the Penguin English Library books, all of which feature lovely repetitive designs, which I really appreciate. This itself is a modern classic of the magic realism genre that I'm sure a lot of you have heard of. It follows generations of a family in South America, and I'm not exactly sure what the magical realism element is, because I haven't read it yet, but I am excited to because I hear nothing but good things about this book. The next 2 books I have read, and they're by the same author, which I didn't realise when I was picking them off the shelf. It wasn't a conscious decision, and then I realised once I had them here in front of me. Obviously, this author's books have inspired some really beautiful artists. And first I have A Portable Shelter by Kirsty Logan. This one's a collection of short stories, and it's a lovely little dust jacketless paperback with this silver embossed pattern all around it with little shells. And I've said this before and I'll say it again, I love me a dust jacketless hardback. Maybe it's just because I know there's one less thing that is going to get damaged as I'm reading it and I don't have to take it off, it's not sliding all over the place, but I do really like them. And that's what the back looks like, also beautiful. Really simple, but just really pretty. I have this sitting out on my bookshelves on display. It's published by ASLS and is illustrated by Liz Myhill. And that's not just the front cover, because there are small illustrations at the beginning of each chapter in this book, such as this, which they almost look kind of like those kind of wood carving type drawings that you see, which I really like. And this is a collection of short magical stories inspired by Scottish folklore, and I just think it looks gorgeous. Like I said, I have 2 books by the same author, so the next one you may not be surprised by now that you've seen that book, and that is The Gracekeepers by Kirsty Logan. I actually only just read this month, and I'll be talking more about it in up and coming videos. I did really enjoy it. It's a fantasy novel set in a world that is almost entirely made up of water with very small areas of land, and most people live in boats. I just think this is stunning. It's got a really nice matte laminated finish, and it's also got silver embossings as well as the title and the sort of lines in the sea. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's truly beautiful. We have one of the main characters, North, and her bear on the front here, and another main character, Callanish, here on the back. This is one of those books that's just got so many layers of beauty. So this is what it looks like underneath the dust jacket. Equally as beautiful, is it not? I could chuck the dust jacket away and I'd still have a pretty book, which is important to me. Not only that, but as all good fantasy books should have, it has a map. I think we can all appreciate how important a map is in a fantasy novel. So it's got this quite simplistic but gorgeously illustrated map. And the lovely illustrations are by Felicitas Sala and the design is by Suzanne Dean. So I commend them for their work on this book. But next is another book with multiple layers of beauty in it, and it is 1,000 Nights by E.K. Johnson, which is a book based on the classic, and it is gorgeous. This one has lovely gold embossing in the font and also underneath you can see. So this is a dust jacket with a hole cut out in the middle of the feather, and it's absolutely gorgeous going around. It's a lovely shade of purple, I really like that. Just beautiful. But underneath the dust jacket, which you can see a little hint of here, is just another gorgeous hardback, and it is a gold embossed picture of a man and a woman. You don't often get that much detail on a hardback which is covered by a dust jacket. I think it was a really good idea of them to sort of incorporate that with the dust jacket. But there's one more thing I need to highlight about this book, and it is the edges of the paper, which have a gorgeous embossed gold design all over them. It ends up making this just look like the most gorgeous book, almost like a piece of treasure. And these illustrations are by Helen Crawford White. But the last book I'm going to show you in this video is a Folio Society, and we all know Folio Society books are the most beautiful books. I have definitely featured Folio Society books in my previous editions of these videos, but since I filmed a beautiful hardbacks video, I acquired another Folio Society book, and it is this one, which looks very plain in its box. It just has a plain silver box here, but inside is a gorgeous edition of a classic children's book called The Little White Horse, and this was one of my all-time favourite children's books. Over the years I lost my copy, so I decided to replace it with a very, very special edition, and it is this one, which looks like this. A gorgeous drawing of a unicorn on the front, and it's all done in silver with the unicorn and little other details being painted white. And as you saw from the side, the text is also in silver here, and it's just gorgeous. It's this, like, I can't wait till I have children of my own and I can be like, look, read this book, let's read it together. It's such a wonderful tale, and this will be such a special edition to have for the rest of my life. I'm just so happy I picked this up. It was a little bit pricey for a book, especially a children's book, but I do not regret a single penny. And as I said, all best books have them. It has a map. And these are the grounds of Moonacre Manor and the surrounding area. There's even a scattering of coloured illustrations inside the story here. I am so happy I own this edition, which is illustrated by Deborah McFarlane. But those are all the books I had to show you in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any beautiful books which are close to your heart or illustrators that you love, do leave them in the comments down below. But until next time guys, happy reading, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye!